Man.
Ain't no way I could be losing with a winning, losing with a winning. Last high, now I got 10. Let them see me in, celebrate the grind and the business.
Okay, let me see you in this motherfucker already.
We ain't even finished, gotta keep it booming, keep it booming, keep it booming. Gotta keep it booming.
Miss Murphy, what up? Miss Mello, what up? Ream and Dream, what up? No happy Halloween. We're not doing that over here. Cool. Okay. No happy Halloween. No need for that over here. What's up, Leticia? Kareem, Tarita, what up? Golden Ice, what up? Sexy J Jackson, what up? Marcus, what up? The Tristan, Brother Dylan, what up? I'm gonna give people some time. I'm gonna give people some time to get in here so we can talk about some shit. Gina Regina, what up? I read the G's about this plan. Let me share it. Y'all know we gotta share it real quick. Y'all hit that like button on the way in. Fuck with me real quick. Tamika, what up? Fuck with me real quick. What's going on, Chris? Put this up real quick, y'all. For everybody who ain't out trick or motherfucking treating, come spend some time with me real quick. Put it there. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can't do that. Damn, I should have been doing that. Put that out there on Twitter as well. Okay. Man. We about to talk about some shit, y'all. Y'all know how we do. Me and Clinton, what up? Somebody you at the bar. Don't get too drunk out here now. What's up, Della May from Mississippi? What is going on? Maryland, D.C., Black Worlds, what up? What is up, y'all? I'm gonna give people a little bit more time. Abnormal, what up? Tony, what up? We ain't even finished. Gotta keep it booming, keep it booming, keep it booming. Gotta keep it booming, keep it booming, keep it booming. Lord, man. Keep it booming, keep it booming, keep it booming. What's up, Mega Just Me? Man, Isaiah, what up? Y'all wow. Y'all wild as hell. Man. Oh, man. We about to get it here. Oh, man. I feel so stiff right up in here. Probably gonna be sitting down chilling. Okay, let me get this shit turned down. Make sure we good. What's up, Spirit of Truth? Say you can trick or treating with your kids. Miss Cannon, Calvina. Listen, y'all. Y'all know that today is, well, no, first, let me start off. Let me shout out my motherfucking team. Let me shout out Team Rob. Mad love to everybody who showed me love. Everybody who's here right now, despite of the would-be holiday, spending some time with me. I won't keep y'all for too long. We're going to talk a little bit about some shit. Today is so-called Halloween. Man, I don't celebrate. Y'all already know that. I started to talk about the history of Halloween, but what I've realized in my time doing this is that Black people in particular don't really care about history. So I won't even get into history this time around. It's kind of like I'm harping the history of y'all. I won't even do that. I don't celebrate Halloween. The only thing I do in October more is I might catch a little bit more of the quote unquote horror movies or scary movies, which are actually fucking comedy to me. I'm actually watching this show on Netflix called The Haunting of Hill House. It's not a terrible show. You got to deal with little agendas going on in that motherfucker. Interracial agenda, homosexual agenda, couple things, not too heavy. I wouldn't even be able to deal with it. But I'll tell you what I find funny about movies that are supposed to be scary movies. Again, they're comedy to me. I find it interesting, and it doubles down on the idea that the crucifix in the Bible has power. Like that shit, when they do that, is their movies. I understand it. I get it. And I just start recently thinking about this. Like, these motherfuckers be in these movies acting like this shit means something. Like, in the name of Jesus. Like, nigga, Jesus ain't even... We know that, you know, but they still act like this shit got all this power. I do find that very, very interesting that they do this shit in these movies. The show that I was watching called The Haunting of Hill House. Since he says y'all do care about history, black people don't give a fuck about history, really. I done made videos about the history of Halloween already. That's not important to black people. They're still gonna do whatever they want to do. I'm not the first person to talk about the history of Halloween. I'm not the first, won't be the last. History don't matter. Tradition is more important to us than actual history. So I would rather deal with the right now. You have black people out here celebrating Halloween and shit like that, not understanding how idiotic we look to the people that are watching. We look real dumb to people, and we don't really care about looking stupid, as long as we can dress up for this one night. It's another form of escapism that black people like to be a part of. We like to, you know, just go out here, dress up in some shit, get some candy, you know, boom, boom, boom. For the kids, of course, always for the motherfucking kids. Now, the thing about these kids is that every year I see depressing ass costumes on these children. This is what I see. For black, I really see depressing. It depresses me, some of the outfits that black folk choose to wear, and particularly the ones that are like I seen a little girl on Ellen DeGeneres dressed up like Nicki Minaj. Now, I didn't see the full clip. I just saw, I think maybe D.L. Hughley had posted it. He was like, he too through with Ellen, not because he too through with the fact that she has a small black child on her show dressed up as Nicki Minaj, and she doesn't condemn that in any type of way. No, motherfuckers too through because she talking about, she put a shoe on the child's head, talking about this to shoot it. Cardi threw at you or some shit. I seen little girls that were a little girl dressed up, and some of y'all follow me on Instagram. If you don't, cut the shit. Links in the description box. Follow me on Instagram. But I posted this little girl dressed up like the little young Cardi B picture. You know, it's just like the fact that you know, our kids would even want to dress up as these people, and I think that. You know, a lot of times it's the parents kind of forcing this stuff on the children. That's problematic in itself because Nicki Minaj, Cardi B is grown women's heroes, in which case they become our daughters' heroes as well. It's very, very, very problematic. We don't see it as problematic. We think it's all in good fun, but it's not. Now, I don't celebrate Halloween myself. My children know that. We don't really get into anything, you know, we don't get into it about that because they already know that I don't fuck with that shit at all. But I do think it's problematic. If you look at some of the costumes that we choose for our children, you know, it bothers me, you know. And then when I saw Ellen had this black child on her show dressed as Nicki Minaj, and she did this, and then black people are, of course, you know, Ellen. Black people love them some fucking Ellen. Now, Ellen ain't did shit for black people, but black people love Ellen DeGeneres for whatever reason. You know, it's really, really odd to me, but she wasn't condemning little girls dressed up like Nicki Minaj, which is nothing but a long ass weave and some short ass clothes. This is what an outfit or a costume of Nicki Minaj would essentially be, as well as if somebody was to call themselves dressing up like Cardi B. They're just going to be in some type of wig and have on short clothing. It's just, you know, like as black folk, we at least, if you gonna be out here doing this shit, come on, man. The kids don't need to be out here. Our little girls don't need to be out here dressed up like these dumbass hoes. They shouldn't be looking up to these dumbass hoes. You shouldn't be looking up to these dumbass hoes. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Even the Christians who's supposed to be Christian who aren't supposed to participate in things of the world, they participate in Halloween. You know, it's problematic. Joy's talking about what happened to little cute butterflies and bumblebees, little ballerinas, you know, little stuff like that. No, little fairies. No, that you'll see some of that, but a lot of these little girls, and particularly little girls, is up in, you know, 6, 7, 8 years old. They changing the outfits for our little girls. They're dressing up like Mickey and them, because that's who their moms look up to. You know, that's in itself is problematic to me. The fact that we'll be back to crying about injustice tomorrow is problematic for me. Actually, there was a brother that was just had his lynching deemed a suicide in, I'm gonna get the state right, make sure I get the state right. I want to say it was in Missouri. Yes, the Danye Jones of Ferguson. His mom, activist, him picking up the mantle. Shout out to that mom for being that example. Most definitely respect to the mom. Anybody that's Black that's out here speaking up against the injustice. This happened, let me see, on October 17th. I just got wind of it a couple of days ago. It happened on October 17th. Danye was found lynched in his mother's backyard. Now, of course, the cops, 3 Ks, the coroner, which we need to spell coroner with 3 Ks as well, cause of death, suicide. They rule all of these lynchings suicide. That doesn't bother Black people like it should. Now, what white people can understand, or what they can see in this situation, is if you want to kill a Black person, all you got to do is hang them. That's the environment that's being created, the environment that's being set up. All you have to do is lynch a Black person. Nobody's really coming to investigate that in any type of way. Danye Jones is just another victim of this fuckery. If you don't know anything about Danye, again, you can just check it out, look it up. It's sad. I didn't put the pictures of his actual, they actually have his body on there. I'm not going to push that picture around. I have a body of him, a picture of him while he was alive. But I do have the pictures of him actually dead as well. And I don't want to put that out here in the world. But what we have to understand is, we can't continue to continue this idea that we can sit around and be mad and talk about injustice and then turn around and celebrate Halloween for our kids. That's a problem. That's not my thing about this is, again, I won't deal with the history. My thing about it is, how can anybody take you seriously when you partying all the time? That's all Black people want to do, is party and laugh. That's it. The holidays we participate in, another form of escapism to help your mind cope maybe with the reality that you live in, whatever the excuse is. The injustice should override you wanting a goddamn party. Y'all like to escape every goddamn thing, but what we do is we make ourselves look like we shouldn't be taken seriously because we can't stand on one front and stay there. It's coming back. We'll be doing Halloween now, Thanksgiving next month, where we actually celebrate the slaughter of your people. Now, some people will, disconnect themselves from the Native Americans by saying, well, they were Native Americans. Then was Black folk. Running bull, sitting crow, Black people. Black people. Slaughter. But Black people, they gonna eat. We gonna eat. I understand, but it comes down to, here's this, and every month they have some type of holiday that people going to celebrate. It just so happens to be Halloween is up on the chopping block right now. This is problematic for me. Now, Black people will view me, of course, as negative for even talking about these things. Anybody talking about this stuff is negative. Hell, actually, anybody that ain't talking about voting right now is negative. Actually. Voting. This is what Black people really, really concerned with right now is to be out here voting. Now, again, look at us. We out here celebrating Halloween. We'll be celebrating Thanksgiving. We'll be celebrating Christmas, New Year's, so on and so forth. But we think voting is about to do something. That's what the pressure is being put on Black people voting. Your ancestors died for the right to vote. And I actually posted up about that saying as well. The voting is the idea that's being pushed to Black people right now, not unity, not staying and pulling ourselves away from the European pagan holidays that are nothing but money makers for the system of white supremacy that y'all swear y'all hate. You know, where they're making large sums of money at one time. Now, I'm not talking about you going to get you some groceries from, you know, a grocery store or anything like that. But we're talking about where they're making millions and billions of dollars all at one time. This is what these holidays end up looking like. And we hate the system, but we will fund it with no problem, no issue. We'll do this for our children so we can teach our children to, you can, you know, understand that you Black, don't really fuck with white supremacy like that, but still participate in their holidays. Like, that's not confusing to a child. But this is what we're passing down. And voting. Your ancestors died for the right to vote. One may assume that your ancestors even died for the right for y'all to celebrate Halloween. And then when you look at this, and when we speak of Halloween, let me double back and make this point, because the issue came up about blackface. Before I dig into voting, and then I'm gonna get to some of y'all's comments as well. But before I dig into voting, the issue came up about blackface. I know your girl Megyn Kelly got fucked up on her show saying something about blackface, really justifying blackface. Listen, I don't mind blackface. And let me tell you why. I don't mind blackface. I don't mind white people hanging Black characters in their yards. I don't mind that at all. That doesn't bother me in any type of way, because again, to me, these are identifying marks. These are identifying visual aids that I don't mind seeing that shit. You go ahead and hang the motherfuckers up, put on your blackface, do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. Show me who you are. I'm fine with that. I don't like the fact that we allow white people to make us so angry so easily. It doesn't take anything. We'll get mad at them hanging a dummy up from a tree. They out here hanging Black men and women for real. That angers me. Not this bullshit. That doesn't anger me. Not you, a white person, want to put on blackface. That doesn't bother me in any type of way. And we have to stop being so angry about this shit, because that allows them power over us on shit that I don't really give a fuck about. That type of racism doesn't bother me. That's a slower level form of racism that I don't give a fuck about. The fact that a cop can kill a Black man, Black woman, or Black child and get off, that bothers me. Not this white person saying nigger, not this white person in blackface, not this white person hanging a Black person or a caricature of a Black person up from a tree in their yard for Halloween. None of that stuff bothers me. That's low-level racism that I don't give a fuck about. I'm not gonna deal with that motherfucker get in my goddamn face with this shit. We gonna have to tussle. You know, that's just a matter of me being a grown-ass man. But we have to stop getting mad about this shit. Because clearly we've been getting mad. Nobody gives a fuck about Black people's anger. It's just something that they can sit around and laugh at. So we have to stop giving them this ammunition. We have to stop making these big deals. Let them white motherfuckers, all of them can paint their face Black. I don't give a fuck. They all can. That doesn't bother me at all. Show me. Just like I said with the Make America Great Again hats. Wear them. Show me. It's just let them do whatever the fuck they're going to do. That stuff that shouldn't matter to us in 2018. That stuff shouldn't matter to us. That's low-level racism. That's the type of racism that, you know, you could beat a motherfucker's ass for some shit like that and keep moving. But what about this justice system? See, this is what my concern is. This is where I will be upset with this bullshit going on here. White people can say nigger all they want. That means nothing to me at this point. Now, at one point in my life, I'm not going to sit here and high horse. At one point in my life, that was something that would trigger me. I've grown. I understand what true racism is. I understand what institutional and systematic racism is, and that is the issue. I live down here in the South. You're going to see Confederate flags all the goddamn time. Bumper stickers, people putting them up on their fucking windows, flying them in front of their crib. Let them. I don't give a fuck about any of that at all. And we have to stop allowing these things to trigger us so deeply. Because that shit is small potatoes in comparison to the institutional racism that's going on out here. The institutional racism that's going on out here, we're not going to be able to vote our way out of. We believe we are. And then people will talk about our ancestors, and they died for the right to vote. Our ancestors died because white people are racist terrorists. That should be the commentary there. There is no, they died for the right to vote. No, they were murdered by white racist terrorists. That should be the only thing that's said when we're dealing with voting, as far as what our ancestors had to endure. The Voting Rights Act passed in 1965. Before that, they was trying to keep y'all black folk from the polls as it was already. And the reason and a lot of people will say, well, if voting don't have no power, why are they trying to keep us from voting? This is normally the conversation. This is the follow-up statement for people to justify voting for no fucking reason. When you hear people say this, what they're trying to do is guilt you in some type of way. If it don't got no power, then why are they trying to stop you from doing it? Because you're black. That's all it is. It's very simple, because we have to understand the mentality of white supremacy. The idea of white supremacy is that you're less than me. You don't have any right to say anything about who is in office. It was about power. It's not about the power in the vote. No, that's not what it was about. That's not what it was ever about, the actual vote having power. It's about them inflicting their power over you, just to keep you, just as well as they stopped you from drinking in their fucking water fountains. There was no reason for that. Really, it's to inflict or to dominate over you. That's why they're trying to keep you from the polls. Not because voting has actual power, because history has shown that voting has no actual power. Because you can slide in whoever you want in there. Whoever you want to be the representative for the form of racism that you're going to be receiving, whether it's going to be your Democrats, Republican, whoever the fuck they slide in there, black person, white person, don't matter. Who do you want to give, who do you want to be serving you your racism? That's what it is. A system that is corrupt in every way, and we'll say it's corrupt. You're not about to walk in there and infuse your goodness or your pro-blackness into that system. It's not about to happen. They were stopping your black ass or trying to stop you from voting just to inflict their power over you. History should show you that voting has no power. It's 2018. Y'all like the world just started a year ago, and we have no idea what voting does. No, that doesn't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. They try to keep you from the polls so they can keep, I guess, their people in those positions. Black people get in these positions, and what happens for black people? I'll look for the chat for this. What happens when there are black people who are Democrats? Because this is what black people love to vote Democrat, like they done had your back. But what happens for black people when they vote in a Democratic governor, mayor, police chief, whatever the fuck they're going to vote in? What happens then? It's 2018. We have evidence of what happens. What happens? You don't have to try to, figure out or fathom voting having power. Just look at what actually happens. I get tired of people not being practical about this. This doesn't require a fucking history lesson at all. Some of y'all said nothing happens. Some of y'all know not a damn thing happens. Nothing happens. And that doesn't require you to go read no goddamn history book. You've been living long enough now. You've seen the society long enough now. You've observed the society long enough now to where you know what happens. But then why is that? I think that should be the question now. Instead of everybody talking about voting, well, let's talk about why voting don't matter. Let's talk about that. Why are they playing this game? Let's have conversations about that. When the motherfucker gets on a goddamn commercial, these R&B or even the 90s are just R&B, but these entertainers, when they slow talking you about going down to the polls and vote. BJ, I'll get to that in a minute. BJ said, how do you propose to make society better? Hold on, BJ. I'll answer that dumbass question again because it's dumb at this point. I'm not saying you're dumb for asking it. I'm saying it's a dumb question because it's too obvious. We're just not doing it. But we'll deal with that in a second, BJ. When they're getting on TV, slow talking you and guilting you into going to vote, why ain't they ever talking to you about why when you do vote, when you get your elected, when your official is in that political arena, why come they can't do shit? Why ain't nobody talking about that? People think that checks and balances is something that works on a presidential level. And that's even if you understand politics in a way or the political arena in a way to understand checks and balances. The reason you've never seen a radical move come from anybody, whether they be black, Democrat, black, Republican, white Democrat, white Republican, for black people is because checks and balances exist on every single motherfucking level. And the people that's doing the goddamn checking, let me say, people that are doing the checking, they ain't black. They don't have interest of black people in their hearts or at all. That's what the checks are. That's what it's all about. It's not just on a presidential level. It's on every single level of the political arena, which is why you've never seen anything extreme happen in favor of black people. It's why you ain't seen it. Because that shit don't matter. A person can go into this political arena with a good heart. Once they in there, and they got all these motherfuckers around them they got to check with before they get anything done. It's got to pass through all these other motherfuckers. Well, goddamn, I got in here to make change. Well, now that change has to go through a bunch of other motherfuckers. Checks and balances. Which is really, they don't want to do anything that's going to actually uplift the people in any type of way. Typically working, we're talking about dealing with working class people now. We can deal with people as a body now. As working class people, they're not doing nothing for you. You can vote them in. They can talk good. They can be black. But when they get their asses in there, checks and balances. There is no absolute power coming from no mayor, no governor. Which is why these fucking cops, 3Ks don't get this shit fucked up, keep getting off. I'm gonna get to some of y'all's comments. Somebody talking about black judges. You know, what? You've seen black judges. Did you know that even black judges have quotas they have to meet? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? They got quotas they got to meet. And guess who they looking at most of the time? Guess who being brought in the goddamn courtroom most of the time? Yo, black ass. You the one coming in there. Because the cops are stopping and frisking and fucking with you. So you the one the judge gonna see, black or not, they got quotas to meet. How many of y'all know that? There are quotas on you. As a human being, there's a quota on your body to be in them prisons. Black judge or not. A system that is fucked up. You can have as many judges as you want. You can have as many lawyers as you want. You can have whatever the fuck you want. But guess what? Doesn't matter. The system is fucked up. You see. Checks and balances happens at every level. That's just how it is. This isn't a conversation that's being had. by these people that's telling you to go vote, they're not having that conversation with you. They're not having that conversation. Let me get to, I'm going to get to y'all's comments. We're going to do comments. I'm going to get to some of y'all's comments now. Let me get to BJ's question first. BJ says, Rob, then how do you propose we make our society better? Now, y'all know, if you've been watching my videos, we've dealt with this question before. And let me just say, before I say it, everything I say at this point, nobody's going to do any of it. But I'll make the suggestions as I always do. To make our society better, we must first understand that our society is fucked. That's the first thing we have to do. This is the hardest thing to do. Because again, you can have people, and I'm talking about even before me, the ancestors that we be talking about, before I was doing this, they was doing this shit. Hard body, in the streets, doing it. They can make as many suggestions as they want to. But the minds of the people have to be in line with these suggestions. Do you know, BJ, that I have to convince black people that racism is even a real thing? Institutional racism is a real thing. I have to convince black people to love themselves. You see what I'm saying? We can start there. You want to know how we can make society better? We can't really make society better if the minds of the people don't give a fuck about making it better, because it's already okay to them right now. I always suggest that we start with raising our kids better. This is what I've been talking about. You know, again, it's not going to happen because they need Halloween. You know, they need the trick or treat. They need to be consumed with celebrity worship like all of us are. They need to not even understand politics. They will believe in voting because their parents do. The first step is to wake up the mind of the parents, of the grown-ups, of the role models. But that doesn't interest black people, you see. We could boycott Halloween, BJ. That doesn't interest black people. I've been talking about this shit for years. All of the things that I could possibly say that we could do, black people are not going to do it. Can't make your society better if the people that's in the society don't see anything wrong with it. As long as they can pay their bills, they good. As long as they got their job, they good. As long as the cop ain't murdering them, specifically them, they're good. Not them or their kids, they good. As long as their son isn't the one that's hanged in the backyard and they say it's a goddamn suicide, black people are good. Hard to make society better when everybody already think it's good. You see what I'm saying? Nothing I can say isn't something that hasn't already been said. Black people still don't give a fuck. Stop killing each other. Love each other. Enlighten your mind. See the programming that you're in. Because once you see the programming, your consciousness will be digging its way the fuck up out of it. It'll be uncomfortable to be in the box that you've been in, the illusion that you've been in. We can move to do that to make our society better. Not going to happen, though, because black people don't care. They're going to vote. You see what I'm saying? They think difference and change is going to come through voting. Not bettering ourselves. Not supporting black businesses. Again, this is stuff you can hear all over the goddamn internet. This ain't me. And I'm not even going to take credit for it. This isn't me. This was been said. And nobody gives a fuck. Nobody. So before we can ask, or before the question is posed, when people like to get on my channel, anybody's channel that's doing this, well, what do you do? What's your solutions? Nobody cares about solutions. Not really. We want to hear them. We like to try to disrespect people that's talking about this shit by, you know, almost insulting them. Like, you ain't got no ideas. All you got is complaints. Well, why the fuck ain't you got no complaints? How you managing to live on a daily basis in this society and not have any complaints? Why ain't everybody complaining? If everybody was complaining, or as I'll put complaining in quotes because I don't call it complaining to talk about how fucked up this shit is out here. If everybody was on that same mindset, then maybe we could move society forward. Teach our kids better. Then maybe we can, but no, we send them up there to vote. What's popular right now is to participate in this system. I say we have to unplug from this system, focus on getting our self-love up, our self-value up, our self-esteem up, and pass that shit down to our kids. Is that something we just gonna start doing because I said it? No, not at all. Like, I'll be asked again about solutions the next time I do a video. You see what I'm saying? Long as black folk can party, drink, smoke, and fuck, and pay their bills, buy them some dumbass clothes, some J's, you know, support, you know, whatever white designer we into, black folk good. That mentality is the problem. You know where they got it from? They mama and them, they family. That's where they got that from. It's passed down. Black folk don't want to believe it though. They want to call people, you know, too woke, extra woke. Dale De Niro on Cut says, solution for us is to get off that religious bullshit and rise up. Be nice. People been saying it for years now. I even saw a post up on Instagram. It was a post about how people are turning or suggesting that people turn more to spirituality instead of religion. You should have seen black folks' comments. I mean, it's shameful. It's shameful the display we put on. Like, come on. God is everything. Jesus is the way, the light, and the world. Jesus is the light, but we still walk around in the goddamn dark. How is that possible? How? We done did Jesus, been doing Jesus for a long time. You think black folk gonna put down church in Jesus? No. You can suggest it, but black folk ain't gonna really do that. You see what I'm saying? Our minds are too trapped. Too trapped. Mupo Ellipso says pool money and purchase manufacturing plants even. Oh shit, that'd be great. Again, y'all can come up, I mean, there could be dozens of great ideas. Black folk don't care. You see, we got to get black people to care first. That's the thing. Because a lot of us, we donate to certain causes, we support certain causes, but it's like by and large, though, black folk ain't, nah, hell no. Nah. They're not doing that. That's a great idea, though. There's a number of things we can do if we, but you're saying pool. The word pool actually is synonymous. The only way you can pool something is if you're unified. You see what I'm saying? That's the only way pooling can happen. Will be a crowdfunding even. The only way it can happen like that is if we continue with this mindset. We can't get nothing done. We can't get nothing done. Reggie say, Reggie, come on, man. Reggie says, Rob, you just making excuses to keep complaining. Okay. Well, Reggie, before I was born, there were great black scholars, teachers, liberators, telling black people things that we should do. What happened? I guess this is, I mean, we'll deal with this a lot. If I'm talking about what's going on out here, I'm complaining by asking that black people wake up. So, what happened, Reggie, or anybody else that, anybody else? What happened? Malcolm X was telling y'all what to do before I was born. What happened? Garvey had some ideas. The Black Panther Party had ideas. Kwame had ideas. What happened? Mobicom Nee Kim says Dr. Claude Anderson said we need to buy the or get any policies. Wait. Dr. Claude Anderson said we need to buy the. Well, damn it, you took it. I can't. Okay, I'll go to Justin. Justin, Rob, I don't think we need to attack the religion of other Black people. Justin, nobody cares what you think as far as that's concerned. But we all need to unify no matter what religion we are as a people. Like Marcus Garvey said, we must learn to do this for self. Well, I mean, if telling somebody that their religion isn't real is an attack, then that's not my fault. That's not my fault. I didn't create the false religion. That has nothing to do with me. You think Black people gonna come unify when they got a church fund to give to? Black people that are Christians give the money to the pastor. That's the truth. It's not. If somebody takes that as an attack, I don't give a fuck. You know, I really don't care. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. Don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. Hitman J says, can't unify when we divided in religion. He made no sense. Well, he must be religious. I think Justin, if I'm not mistaken, he is religious. And he likes to make these types of statements sometimes. Like, I actually give a fuck. I don't know why he hasn't realized thus far that I don't give a fuck if anybody takes offense to me saying that their religion is fake. That's not my fault. I can't do anything about that, you know. I can't do anything about that personally. It's almost like, you know, people would rather be mad at the people that's telling them it's fake than the people that created the fake religion to begin with. You know, it's weird. Religious people are more concerned with their souls in the afterlife. That's what religious peoples are concerned with. And I actually got a video I'm going to put out asking and formulating a question for religious peoples as to what makes the human being so special and so important that God deemed only the human has to worship them. Like that, how you know, it's logical to humans because we're arrogant, but why would God demand that you, a human, worship him or her or it, but nothing else on the planet has to? Why is God watching your life so you can have an afterlife, but no other being on the planet has to deal with that? Why does the human being believe that even God wants to be worshipped? Again, these are very simple, you know, questions that can be asked. Like, why the fuck is God watching you? It's odd to me. Like, why y'all's minds are y'all very egotistical, and I get it. I get the ego, the human ego. I get that, but why the fuck is God so concerned about you? Why wouldn't you think that that book was written to control your behaviors? Because that's all it is a book of control. To make you behave in a certain way. They're not going to waste their time dealing with animals and shit. The souls of animals ain't really dealt with. Nothing like that. Your soul, what you need to do while you're here on this earth. And that is forgive, 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 be kind, get to go to heaven. Well, you only get to go if you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, then you can go. Because you can be good and that don't matter. You still go to hell. Like, it's, again, these are common sense things. Common sense things to me. Questions that I ask that a religious person sees this as an attack. Well, to me, it's just like, well, explain. How does this work? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not an attack, but okay, this shit doesn't make any sense. How does this work? Why wouldn't you see that book as a way to control humans? Because that's what it is. But that's just me. You see, and if asking those questions insults people, it is what it is. Mobicom says, I was trying to say Rob Claude Anderson said it's necessary to buy the politicians. Well, that's something that Claude says that I don't agree with. I don't agree with that. You know, I'm not disrespecting Dr. Claude Anderson. Black people continue to have the things that we've done and that we've tried ignored. You can buy a politician if you want to. That politician, once he enters that arena, has rules that they have to follow. Certain things that they just cannot do. And particularly when it comes to liberation of Black people, or fairness even offered to Black people. So that's something that Dr. Claude Anderson does say. I respect him. I respect his tenure, the amount of years that he's been trying to get Black people to wake up and at least do something different. I understand his idea, but it doesn't make sense that, you know, that a system even requires that you buy someone to be good to you. Like that in itself is odd to me. That means that the system is corrupt, which that to me, that's what the focus needs to be on. Not you pay for somebody to go in there, because what they gonna do? I personally, you know, again, I'm not disrespecting Dr. Claude Anderson, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Mayat says, well, isn't that implying that we're in an oligarchy? We are in an oligarchy. There should be no no reason to imply that. That's the exact system that we're in. When you start talking about lobbyists and getting into how the political arena works, that's what we're in. The corporations with the money, they're gonna get shit done pro them making more money, or pro them shitting on regular working class peoples. And particularly it's Black peoples. You know, it's just what it is. Reckless Inspirer says, LOL, if the Bible was to control people, it'd be so much different. Okay. I understand. It is what it is. That's what you believe. I don't see why you can't see it that way. You know, it's, if you just look at it, I mean, again, this is, to me, it's common sense. So, you know. Well, basically what you're saying is that you believe your God of this Bible is caring about what the fuck you do. Why would he care about what you do and who you worship, and not care about all the other creatures that he made on the earth? Why are you so important? And then why can you be a good person all your life and still go to hell if you don't accept those Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Why don't those things, you know, at least cause you to question? But it is what it is. If you don't, you know, you don't believe that, that's cool. Y'all said block all the religious people. I ain't gonna block them. Y'all know I ain't into that block game. If they're not disrespecting me, it's fine. It is what it is. Oh, animals don't have souls. Okay. Justin says, God said we are to worship him because we're made in the image of God. Doesn't that sound like something a human would write? I'll continue. And our souls continue to exist in the afterlife. Animals don't have souls that continue to exist in the afterlife like us, Rob. So you don't think that a man would write that into a book? Wow, well, doesn't that sound like man? That only you have a soul? Only you were made in his image? Why the fuck did Noah save animals on the fucking ark then? Why didn't he just put him and his people on there and roll? Why would God command him to put animals on that motherfucker? If animals don't mean shit, because, you know, I guess if animals don't matter, if God just made little insignificant ass animals, then that doesn't make any sense to me personally. But, you know, it is what it is. Y'all believe whatever the fuck you want, whatever, you know, whatever it is you want. Because I know we start talking about, you know, religion, people can't let it go. People can't let that go. And I don't know why. But it's just like, why would God have Noah put all them animals on a fucking boat to flood the earth? Again, God is very dramatic and kind of fucked up because you don't gotta drown everybody, do you? You God. Can't you just Thanos the motherfuckers? Again, questions I ain't even gonna, you know, I ain't gonna do this. Again, I'm trying to let the shit go. But he could, if he God, he could Thanos. Like, why you want to watch the world drown for day after day? Like, what the fuck type nigga are you? But okay, but you judging me? Like, okay. All right, God, whatever you say, bro. mm. Oh man. Very interesting. Black Plumber says, how much money does a bird pay for rent and food? What do you mean? I don't understand. Nothing? But you really shouldn't be paying nothing either. That's just not how the world works. The world is worked to build money. If the world was a decent place, then these things wouldn't be required. Everybody would just be using their skills to better life on Earth. It wouldn't be about money. But since it's about money, per the human being, not the animal kingdom, theirs is about survival. Ours is about money. So that's just two different. I don't know what, I guess, as to what the question is. The better question would be, who the fuck did the motherfucker pay that's charging you for rent and food? Who they pay to own, you know, whatever they own? Who the fuck did they buy the world from? Or did they decide that you was gonna pay them to live in their world? That should be problematic. That should be problematic, you know. Should be problematic. But we don't see that as problematic. Why couldn't we live in a world where everybody is just using their skills and their talents to enhance the quality of life on Earth? What's up, Jay? What's up, Brandon? Epidemic Beat says, not a religious question. How do you feel about some of black people who say that MLK was an agent? I mean, I don't feel no type of way about it in particular. I think that, you know, MLK was an agent to some degree because of what he was pushing black people to accept or what he was pushing black people to want. And that is to be exploited by white peoples. That's what he pushed. That's what integration is. It's for you to be exploited and hated by white people, and that's what he pushed through the you know, most of his you know, would be activist career. That's what he pushed. That's the mentality he had. So I don't feel any type of way about people saying that he was an agent. That would make sense per his actions. They do that now. You know, they'll take a black person and tell them to go tell their other black people how much they should love white people. That's a tactic that's still used to this day, you know, to pardon their behaviors, love them anyway. That religious dogma is, you know, I wouldn't argue against anybody. Reckless Inspirer says, Rob, what is the purpose of life? Oh shit, okay. I don't know. I don't know what the purpose of life is. I really don't know. That's one of the questions I struggle with constantly. Like, what the fuck is this for? What is all this about? I really don't know what the purpose of life is. I know that religious peoples believe that the purpose of life is for them to worship a God, because a God commanded them to worship a God. I personally don't know the purpose of life, and for a person to say they do know the purpose of life, that's bullshit. Even if they are a religious people and they read some book, don't nobody know the purpose of life, because you can look at this shit and for what it is. Basically, based on what we do, it seems like the purpose of life is to be born, go to school, and go work and pay somebody to live, have you some kids, and teach them to do the same thing you did. That seems to be, if we go off of what's actually happening, that seems to be the purpose of life, as it were. But I can't believe that that's the purpose of life. But it may very well be. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know. But I ask myself that a lot. Joyce says, hold on. Joyce says, what do you think about Kanye switcheroo? Nothing. Don't give a fuck about Kanye. Don't give a fuck about what's going on in his life. Don't give a fuck about whether he changes his mind on being a coon or not. I really don't give a fuck about Kanye at all. He's not liberating the minds of the peoples. That's not his goal. That's not his purpose. So I can't say that I don't give a fuck about him at all. I don't. The BIE 2018, Rob, what are your thoughts about members of the media redirecting the synagogue shooter to Louis Farrakhan? I don't know what. Well, here's the thing. When you understand the function of the media, which again, this is something that's been discussed since before I was even born. When you understand the function of the media, then what they do makes sense. And I don't have thoughts about it. That's the function of the media. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. I'm not trying to be confusing, but I don't have thoughts about something that I already understand its purpose. I know what the media is supposed to do. I know what it's for. Of course, they're going to redirect off of a white terrorist, a white racist terrorist. Of course, they're going to redirect off of that. That's the point of the media. That's the whole reason for them. So when you understand the purpose of the media, then you're not having to go through everything the media does and try to break it all down, because the media has one purpose. And that's to further indoctrinate your mind and control the narrative of this country, and to continue to keep white people looking good, not looking crazy. That's why they don't call them domestic terrorists. The media has a purpose, and that's what it's been. That's been the purpose the entire time. So I don't really, what you're saying makes sense per what this media has been historically. It just makes sense that way. Lost Hazy Kid says, how do you feel about Donald Trump? Nothing. I feel nothing about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a white person. That's it. That's how I feel about him. He's carrying on like white people carry on. Again, once you get to the root and the bottom of a lot of this shit, all of it just goes together. You just understand. Why would I feel anything about Donald Trump? He's just another white man. Another white man. I feel nothing about him at all. And once you understand the system, you'll be able to break away from dealing with the small pieces, and you getting that. You just digging further and further down to get to the root. He another white man that was appointed by other white people to represent the country. That's it. That's all. Nothing deep about him. There's no need to, do a whole nothing. Because he's just another white man. Doing what white men do. Let's look out for other white folk, and ostracize everybody else. That's typical, regular white man behavior. That's just how it is. Glenn, as you said, you mean pink, or you can call it motherfucking pink if you want to. Some people call them orange. I don't care. Whatever you want to call that motherfucker. Justin says, you heard about Eric Reed calling out Malcolm Jenkins and exposing him as an agent. And do you think Colin Kaepernick is an agent, like some black people have said on YouTube? I mean, he could be an agent. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not concerned with Colin Kaepernick or Eric Reed or Malcolm Jenkins. I'm just so disassociated from giving a fuck about what they're doing. I know that no matter what, Colin Kaepernick came out here, did what he did, and black people, I'm still having to convince black people that institutional racism, systematic racism is a real thing. So his effect was nothing to me. So I don't give a fuck about him. I don't care nothing about him. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I am with Colin Kaepernick. You'd have thought that black people would have changed something, Like, no, they didn't. We still run around here dressing our kids up tonight on Halloween. So I'm not worried about that. Denise Young says, Rob, I don't think religion is the issue. Of course not. I think black people need to turn our backs on political parties because they're not benefiting us. Well, it's going to be hard for a religious black person to turn their back on a political party or anybody, the system, because they have to have something to believe in. As far as the system is concerned, they believe in other people coming to look out for them. That's just how it is. Religion is a problem. To me, I understand you may not think it's an issue, but I'm watching what religion has done to the minds of my people all my life. We created a mass delusion. As long as we can go to church on Sunday and get on our knees and pray to somebody, we stand up and take whatever the fuck is given. God will never put more on me than I can bear. This is the type of mentality that comes with religion, and particularly Christianity. To me, that's problematic. To me, it's problematic. Because that's what it teaches. You are here to suffer. And if you suffer with a smile on your face and treat people good, then you can make it to heaven. That's problematic. That's completely problematic. I knew you was a Christian, Denise. Denise goes to I'm a Christian. I knew that. You didn't have to say that. I could tell by your first sentence. Anytime somebody say, I don't think there's nothing wrong with religion, well, they're religious. That's all it is to it. No matter which one they picking. They're religious. Typically, religious people don't see a problem with religions because it's them. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It is what it is. If you need to feel like somebody's watching over you and protecting you because you special, and you got to do what you got to do. Shay Bay says the media is a tool to keep you in constant fear, and so is Christianity. Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with that. Christianity is fear-based, That's what it's based on. Without the fear, people wouldn't even fuck with it. It's the fear of hell that people, you know what I'm talking, like the fear of hell is what inspires people to be religious, which is why that was written into the text. That's what it was placed there for. And one thing about religion that it ain't teaching black folk is self-love. Ain't that something? You have religious people that will sit around and talk about how God don't make no mistakes and all this shit, but everything on your face is fake. And you have to go out here and buy a bunch of pointless bullshit to have confidence in yourself. Right? Religious people are confused by and large. Like, if you God don't make no mistakes, why your hair straight? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just small, simple shit. Like, what's the makeup about? Like, I thought you was perfect. But, you know. Okay. Tell me whatever you want me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, it's just a matter of, I think religious peoples are confused and it's not their fault. They're typically going to be raised up like that by our parents. And it is what it is. T. Walker says a God-fearing man / woman is usually what comes out of the mouth of Christians. Most definitely. Because if you're God-fearing, that means you're a good person. That's what's crazy. You have to be fearing of some person watching over you just to be a good person. You know, that's what people say. I want me a God-fearing woman. I want me a God-fearing man. Like, no, not me. I want me a woman that hates and loathes completely white supremacy, institutional and systematic racism. I want me a woman that hates those things. All her hate is faced on and put into hating that shit and trying to figure out how we gonna get ourselves up out of here, up out of that situation. That's what I would want. But a Christian wants somebody that's God-fearing. You know, not me. Not me. I want a woman that loves herself, loves her blackness, and loves the way that she was born, and hates white supremacy, and hates the idea that we pass down slave mentalities to our children. That's just me. That's just me. Tarita, that's a good question. Says, why worship something you need to fear? It's a good question. Christians can't deal with it, though. Black Plumber says, I've never heard of an atheist leading a revolution. That's because we get fired up off religion. A person has to come typically with a book in their hand to get y'all to even listen to them. And that's the flaw of Black people's. They have to put the fear of a God or an Allah or something just to get y'all to listen. They can't just come talk to y'all about your current condition and things that we need to do, practical things that we need to get them up out of there. Black people only listen to a motherfucker if they preach it. That's it. That's a flaw in us. That's it. I've never heard of a God protecting a revolutionary or Allah. Never heard of that. If you want to talk about shit you ain't never heard of. God is allowing his soldiers to be shot the fuck down. I mean, considering that y'all believe he protects. That's what I never heard of either. I've never heard of a religion protecting a revolutionary at all. Not once. Not one time. We're playing the things I've never heard of game. Since we're doing that. Damn, Stephanie, that's what Stephanie talking about. She rebuked me. This is you. Are you serious? Stephanie Jefferson says, I rebuke you, Rob. Hopefully you'll see the light. Rebuke white supremacy. Don't waste the rebuking power on me. It's a waste. Rebuke them. God damn. That's the problem. When y'all want to know what's wrong with Christianity and what's wrong with religious people's brains, is because they waste all of their, even when it comes to this. I had somebody tell me they hope I burn in hell last week. Don't hope I burn in hell. Don't rebuke me. Do that to white supremacy and see what that gets you. Rebuke, spin, get together, and all y'all pray against white supremacy and see what that gets you. Well, it ain't got you shit so far, but don't waste it on me. I've done nothing wrong to you at all. That's the problem with y'all religious-minded peoples. I've done nothing wrong to you. I care about you. I want to see you free your motherfucking mind. You rebuke me? You hope I see the light? What's the light? Jesus? Is that the light? It just, when y'all say this, I don't see nothing wrong with religion. Well, that's the problem with religion. Because all I'm doing is I'm sitting here we talking. That's it. That's all that's happening. Like, rebuke white supremacy. See what that does. Like, what the fuck? Y'all are crazy. That's insane to me. That's crazy to me. Rebuke the cops that's running around out here killing black folk and getting off. Rebuke the judges that's letting them off. Rebuke the DA for letting them off. Rebuke the motherfuckers that's sitting around hanging black men and nobody's doing it. Rebuke the coroner. Rebuke them. Not me. Not me. It's a waste. I have not read that. Brooklyn Bay says, have you read Black Theology by James H. Cone? No, I have not. No, I have not. B. Alexander says, how do we stop white supremacy? You ain't been listening to shit, B. You can't stop white supremacy if black people say it ain't even real. Like, you can't stop something like that until, again, the only way to stop it is for us to acknowledge it first, give a fuck about fighting, and have all these Christians that's out here rebuking me, have them focus their attention on white supremacy too, so we can all fight this thing together. That's how you stop it. Stop being victims of it. Stop letting yourself be disrespected. Stop hiding yourself. Stop assimilating to their fucking culture. Stop supporting their motherfucking holidays. This is how you stop it. It's by us loving each other enough to, come together. That's how you stop white supremacy. But that ain't happening. That ain't happening because I'm getting rebuked. Like, motherfuckers praying for me, wishing me to go to hell. Like, you can't stop that. Or you got black people that just want to have fun. That's it. They just want to laugh. You can't, with the minds of these black people that's out here right now, and some of y'all in this motherfucking chat, as it were, you cannot. If I'm having to convince you that white supremacy even exists, if I'm having to convince you that the privatized prison complex targets you and has been targeting you, if all these books are out that's been written and it ain't got people to even try to realize what's going on yet, it's going to be a hard fight. It's going to be a hard fight. Static Saying says Nat Turner was a Christian / preacher and used the Bible to create the slave rebellion to fight against white supremacy. So it all depends on how you use your religion to help people through the struggle. Nat Turner was a Christian. And I respect what the contribution of Nat Turner, but you know what his God didn't do for him? Protect him. Didn't protect him at all. Like, I don't know what it takes to inspire God to protect a black person that's leading his people through the revolution. But for some reason, no matter what God we choose, that God is asleep when it comes to protecting these black people. You can have an insurrection just so well as the Nat Turner Rebellion. You can have that, but where is God to protect these people? Why is that not required of God? I would think if you're fighting for what's right, you get some protection. But that's not what God is into, or Allah, or none of these motherfuckers. They're not really into that. Y'all love talking about this God shit. That is completely taken over, as usual. Y'all love talking about this God shit. Blacks versus Everybody says they say that God doesn't protect us because we are cursed. That makes sense. That makes sense. We cursed. That makes sense. Whatever is used to have an excuse to, for black people to be murdered, if that's what people want to say, then that's cool. That's cool. That's problematic for me. Convenient for somebody to have that mentality that no matter how righteous a black person is, we're cursed. So, um, you know, he won't protect us, no matter how righteous a Nat Turner is, or how righteous anybody who is religious that have tried to pick that mantle up and free the minds and liberate the minds of black people. But everybody has their own perceptions of religion and what they need to cope with this reality. Religion helps people cope. It helps people cope. The way that black people are cursed is, to me, if we're going to be cursed, is via celebrity worship, via passing down self-hate to our children, via not implementing any type of code of conduct for our people. If we're going to be cursed, I would say that that's our curse, and we keep perpetuating that. Mad love, Britt Bratz. Mad love for putting some money on the books for your mans. Mad love to you and your support. I'll read the comment. Been supporting you since your kitchen videos from back in the day. Keep being amazing, Rob. If no one has told you lately, you're appreciated. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's better than me being rebuked and sent to hell. I do appreciate that. I really do. And for the couple people that do appreciate what I do here, I come in here and do it for y'all. I come in here and do it for y'all, and try to help people think about things a little differently. I really do. Refined by Fire says, talk about the Big Bang Theory. It makes more sense. I can't. I can't. The Big Bang Theory makes less sense. And even in its title, it's telling you it ain't really real. It's a theory. For a human being to believe that he can quantify what happened billions of years ago, to me, that in itself is a form of arrogance. If you can tell me what happened, 17 billion years ago or some shit like that, there was an explosion. I mean, if you believe in it, that's fine. It's more quantifiable, but I don't believe that shit. I can come up with my own theory. I don't know why we don't practice that. I don't know why we don't practice that. Why don't we think that we have enough intelligence to think about how the earth was created on our own? Why do we have to use somebody else's story all the time? That shows lack of confidence in ourselves, because I can do one better than Big Bang. I mean, if I sit and give it thought, again, these are teams of scientists that sit around and come up with this shit. I mean, if we put our heads together, we can come up with a dope ass story. Why not? Everybody else came up with their story. It's just that y'all think they smart. Like, that's the only thing. You have confidence in their intelligence. That's all it is to it. Rachel, Truth Speaker, mad love to you for putting some money on the books. Mad love to you. Said you support me on Patreon. Mad love to you for that. Y'all know the links to support me on Patreon is in the description box. Y'all know I don't be on here panhandling though. I don't really get into all of that. If you want to show me some love on Patreon, then do so. I mean, YouTube gonna be either blocking my videos or something anyway to stop me from making YouTube money and everything like that. So if you show me love on Patreon, I really appreciate that. Mad love to you. Mad love. Most definitely. Look, Chastity Brown says, I don't pray to ancestors, none of that shit. Me neither. I understand people being spiritual. I do, but I ain't praying to nobody. Nobody, I don't think that anybody has said that that's required, which I think is an odd practice to pray to anyone. I am trying to honor the essence and the memory of my ancestors, but I'm not praying to nobody. I won't be doing that. I won't be doing that at all. Man, what Stephanie do? Y'all talking about what Stephanie done did? I don't even see her comments in here. I don't even see. Oh man, I'm about to block her. Okay, she's talking crazy. And but the thing about Stephanie is that if you talk to Christians, a lot of them will say shit like that. If it wasn't for Jesus, we would be in Africa swinging from trees. Like that's not real. This has got to be. It's a troll saying some shit. I'll block this motherfucker. Like we wasn't swinging from trees in Africa, bitch. The fuck you talking about? What are you talking about? That's stupid. That's stupid. That's not real shit. Justin says, what are your favorite horror movies of all time? What the fuck? I don't have any favorite horror movies. I don't really like horror movies like that. They're comedy to me. And have you checked out the new Halloween movie yet? No, I haven't. I don't celebrate Halloween movies anymore, but I love horror movies and haunted houses. Yeah, I don't love horror movies. I watch them. They're a movie. I don't necessarily love them because I can't take them seriously. I really can't. Like I said, most of them is doubling down on the power of Jesus and the Bible and scripture and, exorcisms. And like, man, y'all motherfuckers gonna make sure y'all get this lie in no matter what. Y'all gonna get this Jesus lie worked in and act like there's power in shit. But my favorite horror movies of all time, I don't really have any, bro. Honestly, I'll watch them. I do like movies about ghosts, I guess, or spirits and shit like that. I can watch those. They're interesting to me. Haunted house. I watch a movie about it. Like me going to one. I've never been to one, or anything like that, because I don't believe in that shit anyway. But I do like. I'm gonna tell you what I do like watching when I'm watching horror movies. I like to see how fear makes people act, because fear makes people act erratically. And what I've learned about ghosts and spirits is that typically fear is what's gonna get you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So what I do know based on those movies, if I ever come in contact with something, I ain't gonna be scared because they like that shit. They feed off that shit. So what movies have taught me, horror movies and scary movies, unless it's like a Jason type motherfucker, then you got to get the fuck up out of there. But if it's on some ghost shit, you just got to be like, bruh, really? You trying this hard to scare me? You gonna feed off my fear, huh? Not today, motherfucker. Not today. Because I ain't scared. That's one thing that I have learned. And this is, I guess, the attitude you build by watching these type of movies. Because, they're trying to, of course, force certain ideas in your mind. But that's what I know is don't be scared. That's what I know. I ain't about to do no lot. If it's a goddamn spirit ghost, whatever, not about to do a whole lot. I ain't gonna be scared though. I know that. I know damn well I won't be scared of these motherfuckers. That's what I've learned. I ain't screaming. I ain't about to start breathing all hard and all. My nigga, what you doing here? I thought y'all was supposed to go to heaven or hell. That's what this, well, this what this Bible said. Now this Bible said you ain't supposed to be up here around here like that. Really, my nigga. So just cut this fear shit out. If you in some pain, like the boy off of Sixth Sense. If you in some pain and you want to talk, if your old killer is live down the street, you want me to go get him, call the folk on him, we can talk. But you're gonna cut all this goddamn bleeding out the face and popping out all everywhere. We knocking down shit off the table. Like, don't be childish. I can help you if you want help, but don't be childish. Really all I got for him. But you know, that's just me. That's what I got from horror movies and shit like that. These ghosts and shit be real childish. Like, nigga, why you knock my pictures off the wall? You know how long it took me to get them bitches up? Just how childish you are because you dead. Okay. That's how I talk about it. You gotta be calm with ghosts from what I understand. Right. Yeah, right. Right. Najee says, LOL, I feel the same way. Let's talk about this like adults with your 100-year-old ass. Exactly. Like, nigga, you 150 being childish. Like, what are you getting out of knocking the cup off the table, though? Really? This is how you get your anger out? Did they kill you, bury you in this wall? Show me where it's at. Let's get you out. Get you a proper burial, right? We'll get you buried right. And if the person that's fucked you up still alive, tell me where they at. I'll call them people on them, let them go get them. We'll do that. That's what we can do. But just knocking shit over, let's just, I'm trying to sleep. You pulling at my covers and shit. Like, don't be childish. Let's just talk. Let's talk real calm and shit like that. You know. That's it. I mean, that's what I've learned in watching horror movies. This is the attitude. If I come in contact with some shit, then I feel like I know how I'm gonna deal with the shit. I really do. Like, you ain't about to scare me. God damn it. For real. Skimit Ra says, Get Out scared me. The movie Get Out scared the shit out of you. That's what's up. I think it was deemed a scary movie, or it's supposed to be in a horror category. I didn't see it as, you know. I didn't see that as scary. Because I know how I would have acted in the movie Get Out. I know what I would have done. So I'd have been the fuck up out of there so early. Well, I wouldn't even been in the situation, so I can't be scared of a situation that I wouldn't even be in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna be there to even deal with it. White hole, we going out to a goddamn secluded place with your white ass family? No. Shay B says psychological horror movies scare me. Y'all some scary motherfuckers out here. Y'all real scary now. Y'all gotta cut the scary shit out. I don't be scared of shit. I've been like that for a long time though. I ain't really been the fearful type of person, especially when to my movies. Like, I'm not gonna be scared. Because I'm gonna tell you the only reason I ain't never scared about shit is because I know that from fear you can gain no power. That's not a state of mind you can gain power from. So that's how I try to, that's how I try to rationalize it, is I know that from fear no power can be gained. So I just look at shit like, Right, Rob Jr., exactly. I'm the same way. Rob said, I personally find scary movies to be hilarious. They funny as fuck. Because I put myself in them and the movie lasts for 5-10 minutes. but these characters, the movie goes on for a whole hour and a half. Ain't that something? 2 hours almost sometimes. A lot of movie. Lot of movie. 10 minutes, the movie would have been done fucking with me. I ain't got time. I don't have no fucking time. Corrine 83 says movies like Geostorm and Man Controlling Natural Disasters is some scary shit to me, not horror movies. I can see that. Motherfuckers goddamn just make an earthquake happen real quick. I can see how that could make people, how that could be more of a logical fear to have. But I mean, either way, fear ain't gonna stop you. It ain't gonna stop the shit from happening. You know what I'm saying? Um, other than you just being scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to bring it on, goddamn it. Do what the fuck ever you gotta do, motherfucker. Timo says, please understand demon DNA is real. Okay. Does that mean I have to be scared of it? Even if it's real? Does that mean I need to be fearful? Typically when people make statements like that, it's like, well, you need to be scared of something. And it's this right here. This is what you need to be scared of. Are you saying it for me to say that I'm scared of it? What's going on, the once and future man? I ain't scared of shit, man. I can't do nothing about it. I ain't scared of a goddamn thing. The Tristan says, did you see what VD said? Oh, you talking about Viola Davis talking about kissing hunky white men in movies? I saw it, posted about it on my Instagram. If y'all not following me on Instagram, right there, links in the description box. I posted about Viola Davis. Said that she wanted to see more black women in Hollywood kissing or having makeout scenes with hunky white men. I had to get on Viola's ass a little bit on that because that's some coon shit to say. Considering that you've been in Hollywood and you understand now that, this, agenda where interracial couples is all, you don't see black couples together on a movie, especially black power couples. If you do see black couples, they're in a dysfunctional relationship. They're not masterminding shit. They're not your Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They're not in those positions. So I would think that she would say that we need to see more of that in Hollywood. But no, all she wants is to be in, having makeout scenes with white boys. And it's like, I don't know about the hunky part because I'm not, but we've seen enough of that. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why Viola Davis will come out and say something like that. I have no idea. Justice says, Rob, you heard about Don Lemon saying white men are the biggest terrorist threats in the U.S. I didn't hear about him saying that, but welcome, Don Lemon. There have been people saying it for many years before you, but I'll continue. The racists are mad with him now. He was clearly talking about the radical far left racist white man. I mean, the fact that racists mad at him now, if a large number of white folk like you like that, there's a good chance that you've been doing it wrong anyway. You've been either lying, sweeping shit under the rug, or you're a comfortable black voice that don't really speak out for your people anyway. That's how people turn on you. You see, ain't no white folk gonna turn on me because, well, here I am. This is what it is. This is what I'm talking about. Fuck you if you don't like it. Don Lemon can continue to shock white people because he's tried to appease white folk for so long. I didn't hear about that, but I didn't need Don Lemon to tell me that because that's just what it is. White men are the biggest terrorist threats in the U.S. And he should have said historically. He would have actually been more proper saying globally, historically. He could have took it a step further than he even took it to make it really real. But Don Lemon, I think he had he's not my nigga. And I think is he not in an interracial relationship with a white man? So it's just like, okay, if they're the biggest terrorist threats, why are you fucking with one? It's just like, all right. It is what it is. It is what it is. Skemet Ra says, do you know about the black extremist list? Yeah, I talked about that a while back. It's COINTELPRO 2.0. Yeah, I know about that. I know about that. I actually seen a list that some racist white motherfucker had put out with the YouTubers, I guess, that are supposed to be extreme or some shit like that, radical, pro-black, whatever. I saw that I made a list. It was a list that my name was on. It was a list that my name was on. And it was like, oh, okay. You know, whatever list I make it on, I'm fine with it. I'm fucking fine with it. Miss Crawford says, hey, Rob, any advice for my boyfriend raising our daughter? We doing things together, but from a man's point of view, what is your advice? Well, as a father, I mean, I guess if I'm going to be giving, you know, my advice for future fathers in raising daughters, is that they need to make sure that them daughters love themselves. And that's, I mean, you said y'all doing it together, but I think that is beautiful, because a lot of times the parents aren't on the same page. But you need to be teaching his daughter to love herself and also instilling discipline. A lot of little girls get this daddy's little princess mentality young. I think that poisons the mind of a lot of little girls. Because I do feel like as a father, it's your job to love your child, to be, you know, their first love, but also don't let them run around here thinking they shit don't stink. That's it's finding that balance is the hardest part for a father with his daughter. It's finding that balance to show that love. You know, you are daddy's queen. You are daddy's queen, but I'm on your ass too. You're not just gonna run around here doing whatever you want, being however you want, and I'm going to facilitate that mentality because you know, that facilitating that mentality leads to them being grown women and thinking they shit don't stink. I've seen a lot of women say, well, I'm spoiled or I'm this way. My daddy made me this way. And typically they're justifying a fucked up attitude or an ungrateful attitude or an unappreciative attitude and them never being told, no, you're wrong. They're justifying that by saying, well, my daddy taught me, you know, like, no, you can't. I think that cripples the minds of our daughters who turn into women. You have to be, as a dad, you have to be critical. You have to show that love, be critical, but you still have to instill this, well, no, you're wrong right here. And this attitude, this behavior you have is bullshit. You still have to do that as well. And it's hard for fathers to find that balance a lot of times with their little girls because you just want to love them. Like they little girls, like all you want to do is you want to love on them, hold them, pick them up, baby. Everybody else is wrong, but this my child, you know. And I think that mentality is wrong, and it cripples the mind of grown women who come from that. So that would be my advice to your child's father and future fathers that are coming and having little girls, is that you need to make sure you do both things. Most definitely. Yeah, man, you saw that list too? I'm like, well, why the fuck? How did I make it on a list? I'm not even popular. Like, I'm not popular. I don't know how the fuck I made that little white supremacist, the list that they made, but you know, it is what it is. I'm happy to make any list where white folk don't like what I'm saying. Now, that's an honor to me. An honor. That's real shit, Tarita. That when I see how these younger or fatherless women act, I'm so grateful for my father and how he raises. I think that's real. I think that is real because I mean, a lot of times, even with the present father, you know, we like to think, well, just because daddy there, everything's good. That's not true. I've been dealing with women all my life and they could have had their dad, but he could have facilitated some very terrible habits. You know what I'm saying? And that's problematic. Some very, very terrible habits and mentalities, even with the present dad. Because a lot of dads are present, but they not involved. And they, you know, some women have to deal with that. All right, now, Brother Bowman. Mad love to you for being in here and spending some time with me tonight. I'm actually about to get off here in a little bit myself. But I do believe that, you know, it's you gotta have that balance. You gotta be hands-on, and you have to not facilitate certain fucked up behaviors that just manifest themselves as women get older. By request 99 says, should we bring back the chastity belt? Go ahead and try. Bring back the chastity belt, and you'll have motherfucking expert lock pickers in no time. That's what you'll have. That's what you'll have. Expert lock picking motherfuckers. That's what you'll end up having. You'll make motherfuckers be able to pick the hell out of a lock. Just, I don't know what list. Somebody sent me that list. I don't know where it is. I don't know where the list is. Somebody sent it to me on Instagram. I looked at it. I was like, you know, whatever. Joyce said they should show a list of the black men on YouTube that talk against black women like they are dirt. I think most people already know who those people are. And depending on what video people watch of mine, they'll put me on that list. Because it's if you know, you talking like about black women like dirt if you say mostly anything, really. Anything critical. It just depends. But I try to show love. You know, I'm going to be hard. It's like I own my daughter. Just the same way I explained it to Miss Crawford is the same way I feel about black women. I love you. I do. Protect you. I will. Have your back. I got it. But if you in the wrong, I'm going to tell your ass you in the wrong. I'm not going to facilitate fucked up dysfunctional behaviors. It's the same way I approach raising my daughters. It's the same shit. I won't do that. I won't do it. I feel like that's how, you know, that's how we should approach the community. Same with black men. It's like I raised my sons. I love you, but you on some bullshit right here. And you tighten this shit the fuck up. I still love you the same, but this ain't gonna work. This is problematic, you know. So we need to. I think that you have to have that balance. I mean, ass kissers. I even made a post about this the other day. That's what makes this so funny. You know, people that ass kiss black women, ass kiss black men, it's problematic because you can't get nothing done like that. You know, you can't get shit done, and that's not real love. Real love is not letting a person run amok. That's not love. That leads to problems, you know. Oh, mad love to you, love child. Mad love to you. Love child says, love your work, Rob. I appreciate real black masculinity. We need more like you. Mad love to you. Mad love to you for appreciating me. Because that means everything to me. It really does. That people even appreciate what I have to say at all, you know. Because I'm not coming from, you know, no extra place. It's just really practical shit that I think we could do and be better at. And I'm, you know, still working on myself as well, so we can all do this together because it can happen. You can do it and still go to work, do what you got to do, take care of these kids, most definitely. But you can do it. You ain't got to be extra. You ain't got to put on no, you know, dashiki or no shit like that. Just know what's going on. See what's going on around you. See what's going on around you. Observe that and try to show as many people as you can. That's what it's all about. And that's coming from everything I do is coming from my heart because I really care. I really look at the black community like my kids. Everybody is my kids. How would I deal with my kids? Well, I deal with them like this. Justin, talking. Okay, no, just to say, do you check that story out about 21-year-old black man that was hung up a tree in Mississippi yet? That was messed up how that racist killed him, then ruled it a suicide. As you, I mean, they gonna rule it a suicide. Somebody said he was 24. But they always do the same thing as what happened in Missouri. It's always a suicide. I don't know why that isn't something that we looked at. I mean, almost like they treat these holistic doctors. The black woman that was pushing the cannabis. I posted up about her on my page too. She was killed, ruled a random robbery, and nobody will be looked at. You know, like that's problematic to me. In Missouri and Mississippi. There was a black man hanging in Mississippi and a black man hanging in Missouri as well. So it's two. Two black men hung. Both of them ruled to suicide. So it's like, but we're doing Halloween with them. And we believe if we go vote, that somehow that's going to make the coroner say, well, we're going to find the person who murdered this black man. No. This is why we need to unify. This is why we need to unify. This is why we need to stop all this fucking infighting. This is why we need to stop all these goddamn, even with down to the fucking intellectual debates that people have. Like, no, we don't have time for this shit. These motherfuckers out here making moves, murdering us. We don't have time to be sitting around arguing amongst each other. Even though we like to make time for all of that, we really don't have time for that. We don't have time to be putting on fucking costumes and going trick-or-treating either. But we will. We will. Or, you know, taking your ass to the polls, going to vote. We will. It's like, you know, we will. And I'll have black people arguing with me, rebuking me, sending me to hell, all types of shit, all from black folk. You know, it's just, it's problematic for me. And I'm ready for us to wake up. I'm ready for us to wake up and see what's going on around us so we can make moves. Because from the position that we're in right now, we don't even see it. Many of us, by and large, don't even see it. We don't see it. We just, you know, run around out here and we'll just keep doing whatever we do, having kids, funneling them into the system, raising up new slaves. It's like, no. At some point, we have to do something about that. At some point. But I'm about to get off here, y'all. I'm about to get off here, and probably give me something to eat. Give me something to eat. I'll wake up to trying to wake black people up tomorrow, the day after Halloween. Y'all done celebrated now. Now what we doing today? What about November 1st? Are we doing something different today? Probably not. So I'll be continuing to try to tap into the practicality of black peoples. Y'all know that when you come to this channel, you'll be looking at what I deem as practical black consciousness. I feel like that should be where we're putting our minds. We should be thinking about this world, thinking about what we could do to make it better, thinking about habits and traditions that we can pass down to our children that aren't trick or treat. You know, there are other traditions we could pass down other than Jesus, other than trick or treat, other than this bullshit we passing down. We need to come up with some other shit to pass down to our kids, other than voting, because voting is nothing. It's not real. It's not real shit. You know, we need to be promoting self-love and showing that love so our kids can understand exactly what the fuck is going on out here and have pride in themselves and each other. You know, so I think that's what we should be focused on. Running down to the polls, as y'all gonna be able to see this time when this new president come in, or all these black folk y'all wanting to get into these office. Watch how you still ain't about to get no justice, and y'all will still be talking about voting. People still be guilting you into voting. I think the way to honor our ancestors would be to love each other. because that's the thing we haven't done. We've done voting. We've been murdered trying to get the right to vote. But what we haven't done, what we failed to do every single generation, is pass down pride to our kids, codes to our children, and the idea of loving each other and trusting each other and riding for each other. That's what we ain't done yet. But y'all keep voting and keep celebrating these holidays. We'll be back in here to talk about it. All right. Mad love. Shout out Team Rob, y'all. Share the video. Mad love for everybody that liked the video. If you haven't liked it yet, if you did enjoy the time we spent tonight, hit the like button, share the video, follow me all over social media. Mad love to everybody who spends time with me. Shout out Team Rob. Y'all already know what it is. I'm out.